That's right, you geeks. Welcome into the Echo Screen, the official podcast of the Clan of the Grey Wolf. As always, I am your host, the Commodore.
Ding, ding.
I can still hear you. It's a miracle. And folks, I want to let you know something that the show comes off most times. Who am I kidding? The show never goes off perfectly.
I thought you were going to say it comes off the rails, because it kind of does.
Yeah, it comes off the rails every time. This time, we're coming off the rails pretty much on a minute-by-minute basis. So you're going to have to excuse us here. I actually am located today, not in my usual settings, but in a secret underground bunker where the NSA actually cannot decrypt my connection. Therefore, I might be dropping in and out with you folks tonight. But as long as they allow me to visit, I will be here. And Ed Snowden is not on the call, as far as I know. Anyway, as always, I am your host, the Commodore, and with me is the wonderful and the actual established in the place that he's supposed to be, Rue. Rue, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, because I'm in my normal abode.
Because you're in the stock digs. You know?
I am. I have no problem with my internet connection. I think.
You know, you'd think something
I'm
like that.
monitoring the situation.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty ubiquitous at this point. We do live in the 21st century. But in this secret underground bunker, which may or may not be a residence inn, the internet connection is pitiful. Anyway,
they found you.
They found me. Damn it. They already locked onto my connection. Damn those guys. Anyway, we are going to do a full-blown show as long as the connection stays up tonight, and hopefully that will be forever and ever and ever. But we're going to do things the way that we normally do. We're going to begin the show with our Tids and Bits section. That's the T and B, for those of you that don't know. And
I'll have that.
You'll have that? Good. Okay. I'll take 3 of those, actually. That's the portion of the program where we talk about the news and notes of the day, things we think you should know, including today a follow-up from last time where we had the Convince Me show.
Yes.
About you trying to convince me to watch Doctor Who and me trying to convince you to watch Game of Thrones.
Hold on. Before we even get to that, there's been a very important comment already in the chat about my shirt, which you cannot see because you are in you've been banished to the Residence Inn.
Right. May or may not. I can neither confirm nor deny that this is a Residence Inn.
Just so everyone can see.
Yep.
I am wearing a Donkey Kong Ghostbusters mashup. It's pretty awesome. And that's it. Now we can move on.
Okay, good. So we are going to other than the shirts that we're wearing, hopefully you'll watch the show for the content.
Let's see your shirt. Let's see it. Let's see it.
My shirt?
Yes.
Okay, here. Can you see the shirt? You see the Star Trek shirt?
Oh, yeah, it's sufficiently geeky, actually. I'm impressed. Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
Come on. I go all out here, okay? I don't know if you guys know this. But I actually bought this in the lobby at whatever this might be, may or may not be a Residence Inn. I don't know.
We actually have a few people in the chat talking about how they have started up either Doctor Who or Game of Thrones along with us.
Well, see, isn't that cool?
That's kind of them.
Yeah, it's like a thing, you know? It's great. All right, so what are we going to talk about today in terms of the topic du jour? It's the topic of the day. That is what. There you go. You'll have some of that. And I am currently changing the topic in the chat as we speak to where is of the video game universe. We figure we normally do. So last year, I think we did the show on the 4th of July. This year, we're doing the show before the 4th of July. But we always like to spice it up a little bit American style, if you know what I mean. We thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about kind of the shift in power, as it were, away from the Japanese center of the video game universe that was in the 80s and 90s to more of the Western-centric way things have come in the early 2000s into the 20 teens. And then where is it now? And what's going on? And how can we, kind of take a look at that and probe a little bit deeper? We're going to do all that tonight on the topic du jour, and then we're going to get to the last portion of the program, which people still tell me is their favorite, which is maybe 3 people have ever told me that, by the way. I don't know why I say that every time. Anyway, it's a fact. People have told me that's their favorite part of the show. It just might not be substantive. You follow me?
I'm sorry, I'm busy here. I can't hear you over the sound of my freedom that I'm celebrating over here.
Oh, good. Yeah. As long as there's some freedom over there, then I don't really care if you listen to me.
Good.
Can we just put up a freaking picture of a bald eagle or something? They don't even need to look at us. We'll just talk the entire time.
Well, I'm waving my flag. I'm celebrating Canada Day 2 days late and with the wrong flag.
Yes, that's right. Canada Day.
Yes.
We're not celebrating Canada Day, but we probably will talk about Ubisoft, which does have a headquarters in Canada. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Anyway, we're going to get to the question and answer portion of the program, which means that you guys can ask us questions about the topic du jour, about the T&B, or about life, or
not,
or the environment that may or may not be the Residence Inn, or whatever comes to mind.
I want to know about this Residence Inn. How's it doing?
Do you really? Do you really want to know?
I'm going to ask you a question about that during the question and answer section.
Okay, well, listen, because you can't answer the questions now. Here's how you ask a question of us. You don't have to wait.
Please
you have to wait to that part of the program. You can actually just see my name right up the upper hand corner, right hand corner, Commodore 128. Right there, as you can see.
Boom.
Just click my name, click PM, which means private message. Thank you very much. Click on that and send me your question there. That is how I read them throughout the program. Multitask and fail miserably. In any case, I try to read them during the program, pick the best ones, and we will ask and answer them by name, as long as the whole connection doesn't crash around us in the meantime.
Yes. I would like to make a technical point. YouTube has slightly changed their streaming whatchamacallit. We are trying to stream a little bit higher.
Wow.
Whatchamacallit. We're starting to stream at 480p instead of 360. Yeah. So the stream, we're trying it out to see what happens. One of the things that seems to have happened is that the stream is a little bit more behind than usual. So
a little jittery.
We'll take that into consideration going forward. But that's what's going on tonight.
We picked a damn good show to try out the new technical stuff.
Yes.
Just a damn good show for that. Anyway, folks.
Anyway, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. I'm tired of talking about what we're going to talk about, and let's talk about it. The T&B portion of the program. Let's kick things off with last time.
That's like a month ago, actually.
It was like a month ago. It's totally like a month ago.
We gave ourselves plenty of time for this challenge.
Right, which is a good thing because I totally watched it today. If any of you follow me on Twitter,
good job,
at It's the Commodore, you can see that I actually watched the episode this morning. In any case, what did we do last week? Or what did we do last month, I should say?
Well, we had to Convince Me, where basically I try to convince you to try Doctor Who. You try to convince me to watch Game of Thrones. Two shows that we're both obsessed with that the other has not seen. So
not Doctor Who flavored cola, but actually try the show Doctor Who.
Yes.
Got it. Oh, wait, no, that was Dr. Smooth. Sorry.
And actually, Silent Night, we are now allowing comments on our Echo Screen Live YouTube videos.
That's awesome.
Just asking. Anyway,
man,
so would you like to go first, or should I?
You go first. I am itching to find out. Now, you watched the pilot episode. You watched the first episode of Game of Thrones, because where else were you really going to go?
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense. It's very highly serialized. What did you think of it?
I rather enjoyed it. I can totally see why it would. Well, I mean, kind of unsurprisingly, really. It's like the biggest thing right now in. I don't know. Walking Dead might be more. Game of Thrones is definitely one of those, non-network shows that has definitely captured the zeitgeist. Along with maybe Walking Dead, in some ways, Mad Men or Breaking Bad, things like that, or Dexter, which I'm also watching.
Dexter.
But anyway. No, I can totally see it. It was very interesting because it is a fantasy setting. And you explained this, but it's hard to grasp unless you're actually watching it. It's a fantasy setting, and at least in the beginning, there's not really much fantasy to it. There's like dire wolves and stuff, but there's like no magic or dragons or anything like that. It's just it's like a Machiavellian plot where there's like 50 different actors. All with their own motivations and so forth, and it's like there's no real good people. Well, maybe Ned Stark seems to be good, but that might change. Who knows? But there's no real good people. There's just people with their own motivations, and it's just trickiness everywhere. And it definitely grabs you from that very first episode. They're only an hour long, so to the point where I am now 5 episodes in. So
you kept going.
I did. So
all right. Well, I think that's good. For my money, and I told you this, the first season is by far the weakest of the seasons thus far.
Really?
It is the weakest. I think you will find the second and third seasons much more gratifying. They are phenomenal. But the first season still kind of it grabs your interest, and you are right now, I think, at the toughest part to follow because you have to get all the names right and everything else, blah, blah, blah.
True.
I would say starting right where you are right now is when things get really damn good, like really good. And by the end of the season, you're just going to be like, what am I going to do? Oh, season 2. Bam.
The funny thing is that there is a lot, obviously, to follow,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had much of a problem following it thus far.
That's good.
Because they seem to pretty well explain what's going on and give the backstory, because there's obviously a ton of backstory, and there was like wars fought previously, and there's like 7 different houses and blah, blah, blah. It's definitely complicated. At some point, I'm going to sit down with the Game of Thrones wiki and probably figure all the stuff out, but it's not nearly as hard to follow as, say, like Lost or something like that, where you really did need that wiki to be like, keep track of all the plot lines. Maybe it'll change as time goes on, but yeah.
Well, so this is exactly what I said, that Game of Thrones is better as a television series in my mind than it is as a book series. Wow, did you just fire your air horn?
Yes.
Okay, good.
My awesome Galaxy Note 2 fired its air horn. By the way, Samsung, I'm waiting for my product placement check.